Purple Warriors podcast. I'm your host, Ali Sugars, and thank you for joining us. This podcast is about raising awareness for domestic and family abuse by allowing survivors to share their own journeys to recovery. You will find practical yet powerful information and tools that you can immediately implement into your own journey to recovery. You will also hear information on how you can help someone you suspect may be in a toxic relationship. To support this podcast and get access to amazing bonus content, click Become a Patron for more information. If you have a story to share, reach out to me, Ali F. Sugars, on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. Hosts and guests will often discuss sensitive topics in detail. While this is done with the utmost respect and dignity, this may cause triggers for some listeners. Hi everyone, this is the Purple Warriors podcast and welcome to today's episode. Today's guest is Manna Abraham. Welcome Manna, how are you?
I'm good, Ali. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Loving my home office, very comfortable in it today. So Manna is the owner of CFO Hub and she creates empowering lasting change within individuals, employees, teams and organisations. And we are going to talk today about how to overcome life's traumatic experiences. And I'm really looking forward to diving deep into this conversation. So before we go any further, Manna, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to work in the field that you work in.
I'm a CPA, Ali. So I started off and I worked for about 18 years in all different industries, ranging from equity research to shared services to insurance, and also as a business advisor. And I've been transitioning projects between all these countries. While doing that, I work with many teams from all different cultures and backgrounds and speaking different languages. So one fundamental thing I realized that is so common amongst everybody is if they are in the proper mindset, they can achieve everything. So, and people generally think employees are resources, but they are not. Employees are people. And people come first. And the moment you take care of their mindset, then pretty much they work and they deliver beyond expectations. And also, I think with my own journey, I realized that if we can give a person a fishing rod than a fish, I think that would help them and we don't need to be there anymore. So, and I think that kind of led me into, and the mindset and human behavior has been my passion. So, and I thought, okay, so that's something that I can deliver. And I'm coming from a proper business world, analytical, into human behavior, mindset, and intuition. So there's a perfect mix. So, and then I think my own life experiences in terms of, I come from India. And in India, you have certain expectations about a girl, about a woman. And number one, a girl is the most unwanted child in the society. So you see them and you're pretty much conditioned in a way to accept yourself as a subservient gender.
Wow.
In the society. And anyway, so just fast forward, I think the real journey started as I was sharing about my tsunami story, which happened in 2004 December, where it's a very absolute normal day. I'm a normal aspiring student and wanting to prove myself and make a mark as a woman, choosing career. Got up and I was there attending my exam. And that was my favorite subject because I'm coming from maths, physics, chemistry, and then I'm pursuing cost accounting, which is so different. So I was quite happy. Then you come back and you have someone waiting for you to saying there's no public transport, I'll take you home. So it's good. So I was so happy. And then driving about 2 hours to my place, there are all these strange, weird things on the streets where there are people crying, and then you go further, then there's this so-called white powder they spray on the roads, and the doctors, ambulances, and then go further, you see dead bodies, wrapped cloth. And then you go further, there's water, and you go further, you can see someone swinging bodies into a church nearby, which is got an ample space over there. So you don't understand anything because you never heard of it before. I was quite young. And then you step in, and my cousin was staying with me then. And she was afraid, she was scared, and she just said, we just finished our last prayer because we thought we were going to die.
Wow.
And you realize that it's tsunami. So in pretty much your life can go upside down in 4 hours.
Wow. So that was what, so you're saying while you were sitting in an exam or in a class, the tsunami hit
Yeah.
all of a sudden. Wow. Goodness.
And then in the morning, so I was checking the time. I think 8:47 or 8:48 is the hit. The first wave actually hit the coast. And about 8:45 or 8:44, I must have crossed that stretch. So
Wow.
like, just in 2 minutes, something happened and changed my life. So
Mm.
anyway, so it's, yeah, there's a lot of gratitude, a lot of kindness, and then I think in crisis we all come together. It doesn't matter who you are, what sort of positions you hold in life, how rich or how poor you are, what religion, what faith, just doesn't matter, because in crisis we become one. That's amazing human nature. So anyway, so that night, so we were expecting one more hit. We didn't know what to do. We were waiting, and that night, 7 o'clock around, we get, there's no power, no electricity, no telephone. You can't call anybody. Already there's no public transport, so probably trains were working, but no buses and autos. Anyway, 7 o'clock, we are asked to evacuate. We take a train and we go into another state. Not even that state. We have to travel to another state overnight. And that night, I thought everything is over, life is over, because I was quite young, and it doesn't matter whether you're young or old, because when things like that happen and you have nothing to take with you, you think your life is over,
Yeah.
all your dreams are over, the course that I'm pursuing in the morning is over.
Mm.
And then the real question comes in, what is your identity? Who are you? Is it your family? Is it your friends? Is it your doctor? Is it your tailor? Is it just courses you pursue? Is it the university you go and study? Is it the suburb you live in? Close to the beach, far away from the beach? Doesn't matter.
Wow.
Just doesn't matter. So you pretty much lose your identity with it. Who are you? One profound question that night, that reflection. Who are you? Is it the job you hold? Is it the course, the prestigious course in the country you're pursuing? You're not defined by any of that. So who are you? Yeah. And that kind of shifted everything for me. That shifted. Who are you? So in the current day scenario, and then taking that experience after that, traveling to US, I think I was there, and then it took some time to recover from all the damage. And then after 2 years, I left India. And then working with the teams, working with so many people, working with organizations, it looks so meaningless, because people are so stressed out, thinking that that is their identity,
Yeah.
that work is their identity, that family is their identity, that doctor they go to, or the gym they're going into paying heavy subscriptions, that's their identity. So you take them out, they lose themselves.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's very true, and I will identify to that in the sense that when in my workplace, I love my job, and I actually identified myself in that workplace as as my job, like my position, um, and when I left that job, exactly what you're saying, it was a very well-paying job, and all of a sudden I was home alone with no income, lost a few friends, and it was exactly that. I had to come back to myself, and it was like, who am I? I mean, certainly not to the extent of, experiencing a tsunami or anything like
yeah,
that, but still, you do identify yourself with that particular thing in your life.
yeah, that's right. And exactly now what's happening, when people are losing jobs or when they have so much time in their hands, then they think they lost their identity. So the moment they think that they're losing the purpose. The moment you lose your purpose, the first question you have to ask is, what is my identity? So I created my identity with my work, and there's no work, so who am I created my identity as a provider for the family.
Yeah.
So now I can't. Who am I? So your identity, who are you? And I think it's the most profound thing to stay with and ask, what is your real identity? And that kind of brings up what is really your value, or what are you really passionate about? So that's what that experience kind of shaped most of my journey working with teams. And then you become more empathetic, you become more people oriented person. It is people delivering tasks, it's not tasks done by people.
Yes.
So it is people, they deliver. So it's a one big family because you erase your boundaries.
Yeah.
There's no boundaries. So anyway, and this human behavior mindset, and you can clearly see, because I lost my identity, and I'll going further, I'll also talk about how many times I lost my identity. But so you can clearly see that where they are panicking is when they lose the identity. They have a benchmark of efficiency, they don't do that, they lose that identity,
Yeah.
then they panic. Stress is pretty much about, you have a benchmark and you don't cater to that.
Mm.
Anyways, and then that kind of put me into understanding more about mind. Who are you? What are you? What are you really passionate about? What really matters? What is your purpose? So I think that made me to think more and more, focusing on mind and human behavior and brain and how you work and how we as humans have evolved, how our brain has evolved, and that's how now I'm here to help. And if I can do something, then anybody can do it. So that's,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. So working as a leadership trainer yourself, and a coach. So how have you used the tools that you have learned to overcome, the situations that you've gone through?
Yeah, so I'm a leadership trainer, yes, and I'm also a strong advocate of personal leadership
Yep. Love it.
and emotional independence.
Oh,
I'm a strong advocate of these two, personal leadership and emotional independence. And I think both men and women, the entire challenge happens because you connect or you attach your emotions to the outcomes externally. And
yes.
the truth is, you cannot derive the strength from outside, which is not inside you,
Right.
but we keep hunting going out. So how I overcame that is, as I said, I came from India, and the gender bias is really so high, and girls and women are not wanted children. Like if I survived, I'm lucky. If they didn't kill me putting a grain in my throat, I'm lucky. So I'm grateful starting from there. I'm just not grateful for life. I'm grateful for someone allowing me to live. So,
Wow.
and from there, my story started. And then, so as a traditional girl, expectations are get married by 18, now big education, live on, live with someone. I lost my mom when I'm 2 years old. And then 18, when my parents want me to get married to someone, I wanted to go and pursue
Mm.
studies because I wanted to be independent. Plus, there is amount of abuse involved. So I wanted to create my future, and I didn't want that situations to define me. So I totally disrupted myself with the so-called security of family, parents, disrupted myself, left that place with $200, went into another state, different language. So your identity is lost because the girl who is coming from a family with two brothers and a business family to the outside world totally disrupted her existence by
Mm.
choosing not to stay in those situations. And I made a choice that I can change this.
Yeah.
And I trusted myself and I trusted something else and I moved forward. And then I went into another state, which in India it's totally different. It's not like Australia where people speak English as a common language. Every state languages are different and they're like mini countries. So you disrupted your existence, you disrupted your identity. You're nobody's daughter, you're nobody's sister.
Mm.
And it's purely you, your doctors, your tailors, your beauticians, your school, your university. Who are you? You're not a girl from that state anymore. You're from another state. So you exist, you survive, you create your future again. And I lived there for some time, not being anybody's daughter, anybody's sister, just being Manna.
Yeah.
And then I moved into, once I moved from that state to another state to another state to another state, speaking different languages, different food, different culture, you disrupted yourself so many times.
Mm.
And I'm doing maths, physics, and chemistry as a student, and I wanted to pursue chartered accountancy. Totally different. You disrupted yourself because you're chosen as a good student for that, and then you choose to do accountancy. And there were only, I think, 850 women in India as a 1 billion population country at that stage. So you disrupt yourself. So change is very uncomfortable for many. So I disrupted, and then you kind of test your limits, you face your fears.
Oh, yeah.
And every time what really mattered is emotional independence. Just be emotionally independent. Don't think that someone or something defines you. So I use that tools myself. My inner strength guided me. So there are situations where people can take advantage of you. Safety is a concern. Anybody can barge into your door, and you're in that country where women are really not that independent. And I'm living on my own, very young. So disruption, disruption, disruption. And you go into another country. Nobody asks you which state or which city. They ask you which country are you from, and then only country becomes relevant. Your state, city, town, school, suburb, family does not matter. So disruption. New culture, new food, new thoughts, new way of living. And then to another country, then to another country. So in the process of disruption, you disrupt your identity and you create a new identity. And doing that, it sounds easy now to say, but living it, there are challenges you have to overcome, which is, that's why I say emotional independence, personal leadership. No one else will lead you. You have to lead yourself. And it is so important today, even in this crisis, what we are going through, that especially when we are working from home and when we are losing jobs and when we are losing the so-called things we are holding on as identities, it's so important to be emotionally independent and really ask what defines me. So I use those tools to finally understand that that does not define me. Labels don't define me. Brands don't define me. Organizations don't define me. So who are you?
And I really love that because I mean, I haven't really addressed this on a lot of episodes in the last few weeks at all. But let's address it. Let's talk about the coronavirus, COVID-19 situation now, and what I see is that we're saying everyone's all in this together, and that is very much correct because there are people out there who are losing their jobs, or that, like you say, they're everything's changed and we're all working from home, and it's like the big celebrities up here down to the people like me who work at home alone, and we are all creating our own identity. It's kind of we're kind of being made to sit back and realize what is really important to us in life, aren't we?
True, very true.
Yeah. And I love I know when we were speaking before this, you said something to me and it stuck with me, in that you said the things we go through in life, once we've dealt with them, they become experiences. Speak to that a little bit, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, all right. So technically speaking, the brain does not distinguish between memory, reality, and an imagination.
Right.
The brain does not distinguish that. And as per the research, emotions, they stay in your system only for 90 seconds.
Right.
And anything you're holding on to after that 90 seconds is that you're holding on to them and you're living the past.
Right.
But if you look at it as an outsider, it's just an experience, and that's not happening in the now.
Right.
But it's the story that we keep repeating, and it's like myelin wrap. The number of times you repeat the story, it becomes thicker and thicker and layered and layered and layered. And you think your brain, because it does not distinguish the past, future, and the present, it only realizes what you're thinking as the reality.
Right.
So if people who experience trauma or abuse, if they are thinking about that and they're so attached to it, that means they're living it.
Yeah.
It's not true, but they're living it. It happened in the past, so it is just an experience. Your body has grown from there, your mind has grown from there, but it is the attachment to the memory, the emotions attached to that memory. But otherwise, it's just an experience. And again, when I said, the reason also why people hold on to that experience so much is also, I say, lack of mental boundaries and definitions.
Yeah.
So when I work with people who are suffering from this trauma, or they had an abuse in the past, what I try to help them with is go into the past, erase the perceptions that they held on to so closely to their heart,
Yeah.
erase those boundaries, because at that stage in the past, your definitions are very different. You may be thinking family means you have a rosy picture. You may be thinking society means this, and then we try to be, maybe some of us try to be nice to people. As humans, we are tuned to be good to people. We are not bad people at all. So we have those boundaries and we try to stay in the center of that. But if we can erase those boundaries and redefine those definitions of what is family, what is society, what is life, then it's just an experience. So is it the experience that you are reliving every day, or is it the things that are related to that around it? Like how my mother felt, how my dad felt, how my society felt, how do they view me, or am I at fault, or have I done something wrong? Are these the thoughts that are holding you much more than the experience itself? So
Wow.
if we can work on those thoughts, because brain does not distinguish, as I said again, I repeat, does not distinguish past, present, and future. Memory, reality, and imagination is the same.
Mm.
So, and the same path is shared by depression, anxiety, and living in the moment. So it is you who will make a choice to live in the present.
Love it. I love
So, yeah, so it is just an experience. So when I say it is just an experience, not lightly, but you outgrew that. If you look at your 2-year-old picture and now, who are you? You totally changed. Your whole body, your hair, everything changed. So what are you holding on to? Yeah, so that's why I call it, it's an experience. And then same with my tsunami. So there are lessons learned, but
Mm.
we make a choice to see that as an experience, learn. And that's why many people find it hard to be vulnerable, because they have emotions associated with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So but then the truth is, what are those emotions? Are they really connected to the experience, or to everything around the definitions and perceptions?
Oh, that's really true. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we overcome that, and if we can help someone with that, and also to look into the future, because your brain, you live in your brain, your thoughts are your reality, your
Mhm.
thoughts create your reality. So the moment as much as you can live in the past, you can also live in the future, and as much as you can live in the future happily, you can live with anxiety also. So it's the same brain, same path. So what you create, it's pretty much like you painting something over and over and over, and that becomes
That
your
becomes reality.
yeah, that becomes your reality. That's
Yeah.
true.
Fantastic. So, now you said you have a program called the Transformation Metrics. Now, I'd love you to tell us a little bit about that, because, as we said, we are talking today about the coronavirus, and no doubt that this is going to help people who are going through their experiences right now. So, maybe tell us a little bit about your program and how it can help people.
All right. Okay. So what I normally do is I call my program I call my method ACE method. So ACE method is about, I say, awareness that you have a choice, helping someone to know that they have a choice.
Yeah.
Second thing is about you knowing that you can change the emotions attached to your past.
Mm-hmm.
You can change it. And the third one, I say, I'll empower them to create the future they love. So
Love it.
this is called an ACE method. So there are clients who come to me who have been with therapists, psychiatrists, counselors. There's nothing absolutely wrong about that. But you can choose to go and share your story 100 times, because it's important for some people to speak as well. So you can go and choose people who want to hear your story again and again, or choose someone who can help you with, yes, go into that specific event, change that emotions attached around that experience, and also lead you into the future.
Mm.
You can create that. And with my experience, seeing so many employees, so many individuals, so many organizations, change is instant. If we can create the fundamental structure for anybody, whether it's called identity, you can totally redraft your identity, recreate your identity. So the moment we create that, they become different individuals, and it will only take few hours. Like in one session, a girl who is going seeing psychiatrist for 18 months can change
Mm.
in one session. So that made me to think, what is it we're doing differently? Because your brain, again, as I said, I repeat, your brain, your thoughts creates your reality.
Yes.
So if we can work on this ACE method, and the transformation matrix is all about awareness, which is self-awareness. The moment you know who are you, what is your identity, what are your values, what is your personality style, and how do you react to things. The moment you are aware of it, that's the first step to change.
Yep.
So, and then that's one day, that's a program. And then we go about from awareness, we lead into awareness about others. So you know yourself now. So now you should know about others. How do they deal with it? Who are they? What are they? What is defining them? How do they like to be talked to? Like some are direct, some are indirect. And what are their limiting beliefs? What are their challenges? Like I was talking to someone this morning and they said, life is too hard. And there's another person who spoke to me last week, and I said, Manna, I lost my home, I lost my job, I lost my car. But you know what? I'm happy.
Wow.
What is their belief? What is defining them? What is distinguishing them? So the moment you know that there are all these different people and there is awareness about yourself, awareness about your others, and also I work on neurolinguistics as well, because you can clearly create the pathways in your brain, and you use hypnosis, and there are various other tools we use, and then see how we all can work together. And this only takes few hours. So that's the transformation matrix. So if someone really wants to change and they just had enough, I really strongly suggest that find something like that, and they should go and pursue that. Because at this point of time where everybody has so much time and they're in that mental state, it is so important to stay in that mindset, because your thoughts create your reality. You create your reality. So what do you think? That is what the life you're living. So it's important that they take that opportunity. And that's what transformation matrix is all about, is to give them that experience that they can create. It is not a band-aid solution. It is more of working on, because you can change. Change is instant. It's a decision to change that is hard. That's why I'm saying, if you really want to break free,
Mm.
then this is instant. This will happen. That's transformation matrix.
So that's brilliant, because I mean, obviously there are so many people out there now who may feel like you said, like we say, like may feel like they've lost their identity, but you know, now is the perfect time to
Yeah.
be working on themselves and to be creating, you know, creating themselves, creating their
Yeah.
identity and working on their mindset. So now is the perfect time to do it, when they may be home and have the time to do it,
That's true.
which normally they wouldn't. So
Right. Because not everybody is ready. Not
yeah,
everybody is ready to face the fears. Not
yes.
everybody is ready. So that's what for them, or what I can offer is, come and join the Art of Self-Discovery group. Join the group, because there are people who are sharing inspiring stories. They're great people who genuinely want to support. So join the group and listen to the other stories, and then you will realize life is not over. Life moves on.
And that's a
You're
Facebook group.
not. It's a Facebook group, yes.
Right.
It's an Art of Self-Discovery Facebook group. So maybe I can share the link.
Oh, no, please do, because I think that would be, you know, a really useful tool for people to go and have a look at and get involved with
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
The Art of Self-Discovery. That's a brilliant name. I love that.
Art of Self, and that's exactly that. Because the reason why the group came into picture is because there at least two incidents where someone ended their life because they didn't have someone to speak.
Yeah.
And they're not ready to face those fears. They're not ready to speak about it because they want to be independent. But there is, in this day and age, independence is not the word. Interdependence is the word. You draw your strengths, you draw your knowledge, and then you live and you thrive.
Yes.
Independence is not the word. So then I thought there should be a group like this. And on the same day, I heard another lady, her story, 15 years of amazing job, and then goes into depression and so many obstacles in her life. She overcame that. And she says there is life, and she's 84 now. People thought she's going to die 30 years ago. And then there's these young people who thought they had to end up their life just because, whatever, fill up the blanks.
Yeah. Fill up the blanks. Yeah.
Yeah, fill up the blanks. And then I thought, again, an art of self-discovery, that's how it came up. Identify who you are. And that profound question of who are you comes up when you can eliminate. And this is the perfect time. You're not the job, you're not that society, you're not that. So who are you? What is your definition?
Beautiful.
You think you lost your purpose, but what is your purpose now? Because in my journey, I realized living is the purpose of life.
Yeah.
Purpose is not out there. Living is the purpose of life. So that's why the art of self-discovery. And I'm more than happy. There's great content, great stories. People can join and they can thrive in it.
Lovely, lovely. Well, we will make sure that we put the link to that group down below.
Yes, sure.
And so how else can people get in contact with you? So do you maybe have a free download or something that you can share with us, or how can people get in contact with you?
I think the best way to contact me is I'll share my Facebook group and Facebook page on the website, as well as I'll leave my email and my contact details. But what I really want to say is, if there is someone there who is afraid and don't want to face their fears yet, but really, really want the change, I'm here to offer them a no-cost consultation.
Beautiful.
To see if I can help them. And if I cannot work with you, I will refer someone who can help you.
Lovely.
But it is your choice to reach out. You should reach out. I think that's more important.
Absolutely. And it is important, that if you are in need of help, that you do reach out. There are some brilliant people out there like Manna who are available to help you. So, if you are in need of help, we will make sure that all Manna's details are below and that you are able to contact her at short notice if or when you need to. Sure. So thank you, Manna. That's been really, really good, and I'm glad that you are now working in the field that you are. Even after all your experiences, you've clearly, you're happy and, you're fulfilled in what you're doing. And I just love that you're helping so many people. So thank you.
That's true. That's what I always say. There's nothing to lose, nothing more to lose, especially in this time also. Nothing to lose. So just go and experiment. Face your fears and just experiment.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Manna. It's been lovely speaking to you today.
Thank you so much, Ali. It's really my pleasure.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.